He hangs up.
There was a difference between the way you would listen.
Yeah, exactly.
The levels at which you would listen. Al could mix a record without any speakers on.
No, that was actually...
There was a rumor that Al mixed a Steely Dan track without hearing
what had happened?
Of the music just by looking at the VU.
Here's the story with that. I think that...
I don't know if that's a bullshit story or not. It's a great story.
It could have been here, but he was mixing for them, and then he got everything balanced, and then he turned the speakers off to take a phone call or something. And then he went back and he just had the machine running and the VUs were going. He's just watching the ballistics. And the guys, Gary Katz and the Cats show up after lunch and they come in and they're real quiet. And they just see Al sitting at the console looking at the VUs. And then he goes and turns the speakers up and it sounds beautiful. And Katz turns around and he goes, he doesn't even listen. And that's what happens.
Let's not play, let's keep the myth alive.
It's just great.
I thought, but I mean, the thing is, you say that about anybody else, you'd laugh. Al Schmitt, you go,
I wonder.
Wow.
I wonder.
Al could probably do that. You know what I mean? There was very few cats. There's some of those, the older school cats, man. They just had have that aura about them. And he was definitely
you could just feel
everybody just Al Schmitt,
But
there's a big hole where it'll never be.
The second half of your question was it was okay to really be emotionally involved. That's what you learned from Al. And it goes to the point that Steve was making. For that block of time, there were those of us. This is all that mattered. If these cats wanted to do overdubs, everything in my family life was canceled. As far as I was concerned, I was on a nuclear sub. We were under the ice cap. And
we were under the ice cap, all right, but that's
we're not coming home.
Now, let me look you straight in the eyes in this camera going, all the myths about how much cocaine we did are grossly or exaggerated. Were we naughty? Sometimes. When we were working, how naughty can you be when you have to concentrate on shit like that? There may have been a little bit of misbehavior.
Days in the studio.
There may have been a little bit of misbehavior, but the bad shit didn't happen until the session ended.
Yeah. Everybody split.
And
but
then
the focus...
what do you mean it's 9 a.m? I got a 10 a.m. session.
The focus was so hyper intense for what we were doing. And a lot of the stuff we were doing, there was so much to learn from these guys, especially from
we were
Steve.
also really young. So we were bulletproof in every era. We didn't need a lot of sleep. We weren't all married with children.
I had a yogurt.
The studio was like, this is where we live.
Yeah.
You know
this
what I
is
mean? Anything we wanted. At one point, when we were doing the Hydra record in here, we had a motorhome. Did you? We had a motorhome out there.
Just to hang in?
For people sleeping.
I didn't remember. I remember you guys sleeping in the lounge.
Well, there was that. Everybody needed an extra couple hours because if you didn't sleep the night before, you needed to catch up a little. But no, there were cats that would go out in there and do tag team, and then then of course various people would drop off
Sundries. Yeah.
Sundries and liquid refreshment.
And fuel.
And food.
Yeah. Oh, and that too. Food.
Gosh, this is...
There was some great, man. We had this complex Sunset Sound. Not only is it legendary for everything that's come out of it, but some of the hangs in, like when we'd be doing sessions, sometimes we wouldn't go in and listen because it was wasn't that kind of a vibe. We do, and they go, okay, we're going to listen. So we just go right out that door and turn right into the women's bathroom. And there was never any women except for Peggy here at that time.
Probably.
And she was already hip to what was going on. But if you walked into that bathroom, what nobody knew, that unless they went in there, was that there was a mirror like this and a mirror like this.
A mirror on the table.
Yeah, mirror on the table. And, when the band, they couldn't find the band for the next take. Where are they? I know where they are. Wow. There'd be all kinds of crazy.
So
the tape library here. There used to be the tape library here. Oh, yeah. A lot of midnight confessions in there.
When you walked in this room, that's exactly where you went and opened the door and
I went
in
to
there.
see it there was no tape anymore, so there was nothing to store.